Hey, this is Hans-Peder. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, this whole thing about, self-isolation and being closed off. And, you kind of begin to procrastinate and maybe you start eating things you shouldn't, and you can't really get your work done. And you basically just, start to get in a rut and just get stuck. And like all of you, this has affected me too. But like I found like one technique, especially that's been really powerful and really useful. And I'm not sure you're gonna enjoy it because like it because it's not some hack. Just do this and then you'll never procrastinate again. But if you actually do it, it's really really powerful and it works wonders for productivity and actually getting things done. All right. So the concept is basically dopamine fasting. And dopamine, as most of you probably know, is like the reward hormone in your your brain. It basically this is what floods your brain when you are having sex. That's what floods your brain when you're eating that big burger at McDonald's or eating that, I don't know, ice cream or something like that. It's that thing that makes you do things. So, for example, I think there's done a study at some point where they basically had some rats, right? And it took out all the dopamine out of them. And they basically didn't want to do anything at all. Even when they were starving for food, they didn't even want to go for food because they basically procrastinated and were really bored. Because this is like what we strive for is dopamine. It's basically your brain telling you, good job, you are surviving. Nice, keep doing that. So that's basically what you're going for. So let's say if you're working out, you would also every time you complete something and you do something, you get dopamine. If you didn't get dopamine, you wouldn't really work out. So the reward for working out is being happy and achieving a goal and getting better, and that also puts some dopamine in your head. But of course, you get a lot less reward or dopamine out of working out than you do for eating ice cream. Because for your brain, eating ice cream, there's a lot of sugar in it and stuff like that. And that basically keeps your life longer, when it's winter and you gain some fat, that's a good thing, right? Out in the cave, then it's good to get a lot of sugar and get on some fat. That's a big chance of survival. And working out, your brain is like, well, I guess it's fine, achieving goals, nice, but it's not gonna keep you alive. It's not like something that will keep you away from the tiger. So it's good for you, but your brain's not gonna acknowledge it as well as doing something that would really help your survival back in the days. For having sex, for example, there's a reason that it's so pleasurable. It's because it's the thing that keeps our species alive. It's pretty important. So that's why it's so amazing for a lot of people to have sex. It's because you have basically built to enjoy it. Because if you didn't enjoy having sex, you wouldn't do it. So yeah, that's the basic thing of dopamine. It rewards you for doing stuff, basically. And of course, it doesn't do it equally, like working out. And that's, where the problem comes in. So, because it's easier to relax and watching Netflix, for example, and that keeps you safe. Again, always bring it back when we lived in caves. If you just watch Netflix, you're comfortable, you're safe. That's a better place for survival than if you were out there working out and taking risks, maybe talking to people you're a little scared of talking to, because your brain will see that as, oh god, that's danger. There's a chance of you dying if you do that. There's no chance of dying, and there's a bigger chance of safety if you just watch Netflix. That's why watching Netflix is more pleasurable. So, and this is basically where we have this dilemma, and what is causing this, rut and procrastination in these times where you're locked in and you can't really do anything. Because you're basically presented with this, watching Netflix, eating junk food, maybe watching porn, stuff like this, and being productive, doing yoga, I don't know if you're into that, eating healthy, reading, all this stuff, taking courses, being better, expanding your skill sets. Your brain is going to prefer this one because it's a lot more safe, so to speak, and it rewards you more. You basically get more dopamine out of this. So for your brain's perspective, it's really stupid to do these things. That's why you procrastinate from doing them. So this is where the whole problem, comes from. And the way to solve this, and you're probably not gonna enjoy it, like it, but it is basically to cut these things out. I know you're probably gonna think, oh, what? You don't mean that? Oh my god! But just hear me out for 1 second, because it's really amazing when you actually do this. Your brain is still going to want, the dopamine, the reward, but it cannot get it from all these things anymore. So your brain basically have to do these things to get dopamine. It has to work out, and it has to eat healthy because that's what it have. So you won't really procrastinate as much. The other option you have to doing this is basically just, watching at a white wall and doing nothing. So you basically give yourself the choice of, doing what you need to do or do nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Literally, look at a wall. That's the other option you have. And you're quickly going to discover you're going to get really bored. And it's going to be a lot easier to actually do these things. So I'm not saying that, never eat junk food again, never ever not watch Netflix again. You can porn, you can, throw that out the window. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not saying that. But if you can restrict yourself to maybe the first 5 hours of your day, you can't watch YouTube, you can't eat junk food, you can't, yeah, you get the gist. You can do all these things that are easy, playing video games also. These things. And your brain is basically going, this is not like the right way to say it, but it's gonna starve for dopamine. It's gonna crave it. And it can't get it from these things because you've cut these off. So you basically feel drawn to do these things, working out, actually doing things, learning. Just occupy, do something, because the other option you have for the first 5 hours, or how long you want to do this, in the morning or, in the afternoon, is to look at a wall. You literally only have the option of doing the productive things or looking at a wall. And you're not going to get any dopamine out of looking at a wall. So your brain is going to draw you to these things. And it's really amazing when you do these things. And wait, I don't have to fight myself to do it. I don't have to wait 30 minutes for me to, get up and actually do a workout. And it's really freaking awesome. And so yeah, of course it can be hard to just cut these things up because God, they're tempting, especially when you crave them and haven't had them for some time. But that's the gist of it. That's the concept, and it's really awesome. Dopamine fasting is amazing. The first day you do this, you're going to be so freaking bored, and you're gonna hate this whole thing, and you're gonna complain and be cranky. At least if you're me, I got pretty irritated the first time. But it's so amazing to get over that bump. But because then you can just do stuff, without procrastinating. You can actually do productive things. You can go for your dreams. You can, go for dreams, achieve your dreams. You can be productive. You can do things that are good for you. So yeah, that's the gist of it. For maybe 5 hours, 4 hours, how long you want to do it. The longer the better. But I would say from the morning and then expand from there. So always when you wake up and then for some time, So yeah, do this for some time and just, either be productive or don't do anything at all, And then you'll pretty quickly begin to do, productive things because they give you dopamine. Doing nothing doesn't. So yeah, that's the basic concept. And of course, I can say it can be really hard to just cut all these things out you crave. And there are different techniques you can use to, cut these things off for the first 5 hours. One I would really recommend and one I use is to basically make a pre-commitment. I've talked about this before, but it's still a really awesome technique and I recommend it. So let's say you want to be productive for the first 5 hours at least. So no porn, no Netflix, no junk food, no YouTube, all these things, no gaming, all these things cut off. And even if you enjoy, reading fantasy books, cut that off too, because that's not productive. It might be good for you to read, but it's not productive to going to achieve your dreams. But yeah, so place a pre-commitment for this time for 4 or 5 hours where you have to be productive and don't touch anything with high dopamine levels. And so make a pre-commitment, and that means you'll set up a punishment for not achieving, for basically, falling into these traps for the first 4 hours. So you find a punishment if you actually begin to see YouTube or Netflix or stuff like that in the first 3 hours, how long? And this is really strong. And here's the key kicker. You can't say things like, oh, you have to pay, $10 to your friend or something if you end up watching YouTube. Because there's a chance you'll actually fall through and do it, And then you'll just have lost money. The point of a pre-commitment is you have to make the punishment so outrageous that you couldn't possibly actually, fail. Because, oh God, if I fail, this thing would happen. So for example, you had to throw your favorite clothes out. I don't know, for example, you have to throw out your favorite jacket and never use it again. Or you have to donate $700 to Scientology or things like that. Something really outrageous that you would just cringe by the thought. Or you have to, Oh, there's a lot of possibilities here, you know. You've had to eat dog food, for example. That one's actually worked for some people. I've read a book about it or something, where someone actually lost weight because, you know, if they didn't eat healthy, they had to eat dog food. So that's also an idea. But all of these ideas are amazing because you wouldn't do 'em, you know. You would rather just be productive the first 3-4 hours than end up eating dog food or throwing out your favorite jacket or something like that. Because when you do it like this, your brain is gonna be like, well, I can't, you know, do all these bad things. That's not an option because then this punishment is gonna happen, and I don't want that at all. Oh God! And then it's easier to do this thing. So yeah, cut off. So basically, here's the gist of it. I've talked a lot and rambled a lot, but yeah. So for the first 3, 4, 5 hours, how long you want to do it? You know, you have to be productive. No dopamine, high levels of dopamine at all. So no porn, TV, Netflix, all these things. And then you have to set a punishment for yourself if you actually do it. So watch Netflix and stuff like that. And some examples could be eating dog food, throwing out your favorite clothes, or yeah, stuff like that. Or a favorite item of yours. Maybe you have a signed autograph from someone you adore. You have to throw that out, or something like that. Or donate a huge amount of money to Scientology, or whatever you think. Whatever religion you're not yourself into. Because your brain is going to be like, well, it's not an option to fail. I can't fail. Because it would be a lot worse to actually do the punishment than to just, you know, be clean for 3, 4, 5 hours. And then you're going to find that you're going to stick to those 3, 4, 5 hours. Trust me. Because you are not going to enjoy that punishment. So you're going to do that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions about pre-commitments, I've made a video about it before. And you can write in the comments for questions. But yeah, I really hope this helped, and it has helped me a lot recently. So I really, really recommend this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. See you later, guys. Bye.